Hi all. So today I want to talk about kabuki theater, the media and the news and how we are distracted and how we are lied to. And it's actually quite ironic because I wanted to use a quote that I always thought was by Voltaire. And it states that if you want to know who is in control of you, look at who you're not allowed to criticize, right? Or look at who you're not allowed to mock. And then I had forgotten that it was by Voltaire, so I looked up who it was by, and now all of a sudden on the internet it was not by Voltaire, it was by a neo-Nazi, and that just makes me laugh. Because that is an ad hominem attack, right? Rather than attacking the idea, we are attacking the person that said it. So the person that said it is a neo-Nazi, so we're not going to listen to the wisdom of that quote. So I kind of found that funny, but that actually just really ties into what I wanted to talk about today. So I wanted to talk about cancel culture. I wanted to talk about fact checkers on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? So very important to look at the bigger picture. Once again, if you want to know what's going on, rise above duality, because the archons in control of this matrix will always use duality against us. They don't mind if you're on the left or if you're on the right, as long as you are fighting each other and as long as you're moving into dualistic thinking and waiting on an external savior, which stops you from doing the work yourself. So if you're not a conspiracy theorist, you won't know this. If you are, you're probably going to know everything I'm going to say in the next minute, but bear with me, then we'll get to what this video is about. So when lockdown hit, many people were still in the far left, and they fell for the narrative, that all people on the right were racist and bigoted, and they fell under the hypernorm of transformation. But they were not aware of Hollywood and Epstein and P. Diddy and all the things being perpetrated by the elites in Hollywood with regards to sex trafficking, as well as far worse things that I cannot mention on this platform, otherwise I will be throttled, right? Then we had people who were what they called QAnoners, and they were massive Trump fans, right? So they believed that Trump came in and he was going to drain the swamp, and kill the cabal. And then Trump came to power a second time. Now, I actually used to be a little QAnon-y, because when the entire media turned against Trump, I used this, right, because I was saying, wait a minute, you're not allowed to say anything bad against Biden, but you can say bad things against Trump, so that means Trump is not in control. And I then looked at this, if you want to know who is in control, look at who you can't mock. So guys, wherever you are, if you want to know who is in control, look at who you can't mock. So anyway, when Trump came to power the second time, I saw it as a bit of a red flag when he immediately tried to push for synthetic mRNA vaccines for cancer, right? It's like, whoa, okay, that doesn't go with the story. So then I realized that he's most probably a backup false flag, right? So we create a problem, we divide people, and then when people wake up, we create a hero for the people who are waking up so that they will then fall for that backup false flag. Then we had Trump and Elon. So what happened is we jumped from the pedophile Hollywood timeline to the AI totalitarianist control timeline, right? So that's the timeline that the archons want to get to, right? And going the Republican side was a little bit slower than going the Democrat side, because on the Democratic side, people weren't even aware, right? They thought the fourth industrial revolution was a wonderful thing, and we're just going into it eyes closed, and religion should be a thing of the past, spirituality should be a thing of the past. We should all just follow the hypernorm of transformation. But when we went into Trump and Elon, it changed to health and safety. So if you look at what is being throttled on Facebook. It's usually if you post anything against the, the shot, the clot shot, or if you post anything against global warming, or if now it's changed a little bit, if you, so it's global warming, it is the clot shot, it would be, if you talk about the elites, if you talk about behind the scenes things happening, right? But what they're not throttling, which I find very interesting, is anti-Semitic rhetoric. Because I found a post, and yes, it is absolutely true that history is written by the victors, and that there are things within our history that we don't understand, and that the whole Holocaust has been painted in a different way. But it's all about division, right? If it really creates division, Facebook won't throttle it, right? Won't throttle it. Now, freedom of speech is incredibly important, right? And yes, if it becomes hate speech and if it's extremely divisive, then we have to look at that, because everything has to, be in balance. But it was interesting because I saw this post and I immediately flagged it. And on my Facebook, I've been in Facebook jail so many times for false information because I'm constantly questioning the hypernorm, right? But when I flagged this, and it was obvious, it was basically saying Hitler was completely right, which I don't actually have a problem with if you're saying that, but it was then also saying that, all Jews are bad, they're all in on it, and basically it was propagating hate speech, clearly. And then I flagged it, and Facebook came back to me and they said, sorry, this does not go against our community standards, but my videos, or pictures of sea level not really rising, those are flagged, which is interesting, right? So don't go against global warming, because we're using global warming to inculcate new legislation into international law. So if you question that, we can't put in new legislation that helps with the totalitarian tiptoe into the fourth industrial revolution, AI, Chinese social credit system, top-down control. Trump's also bringing in Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, sorry, blockchain, right? Now, the thing about blockchain is it's programmable currency. And once we have programmable currency, if we go cashless, then we're completely controlled, right? We're completely controlled. Please go look up the Chinese credit system, social credit system, because this is what we're moving towards. Or actually, no, this is not, this is what the Archons want to push us into. But we are timeline jumping. We are timeline jumping. The sun is picking up and we are ascending. So I absolutely believe that that timeline is not going to happen. I actually know it very deep within my soul that it's not going to happen, because remember, time does not exist, and this is a replay, right? We are experiencing time, but outside of time, everything is happening all at once. So all of this has already happened, and the integration of the opposites has happened, and we are on our highest timeline, right? We're just visiting all of these because we're experiencing life, which is beautiful. But everything has picked up speed, and what the Archons are trying to do is push us into an AI timeline, because if they do that, then we will lose our contact with Source. Oh, well, that's what they think. We can't lose it. But we will lose our contact to our deepest inner nature, as well as to Mother Nature, as well as to our intuition. So why am I making this video? If the light has already won and we don't have to worry about this, because we are in time, right? And as long as we are in time, we are still experiencing these things, and we have to be aware of what is happening and why it is happening. Okay, so be aware of the hypernorm of health and safety, as well as, what's it called, Agenda 2030, and the Sustainable Development movement, right? So in the name of sustainable development, they're going to bring in the fourth industrial revolution, AI, top-down control, surveillance, synthetic mRNA, vaccines, as well as a lot of legislation. that controls people, as well as programmable currency, all in the name of saving the planet, but it's actually going to divide people. So just make the right choices. Don't be scared, right? And remember that what's happening is so big that they can't stop it. Once ascension starts to happen, they can't stop it, right? And what will help you to be more aware? Yes, be aware of the 3D things. This is the things that I just mentioned. But forgive, love, kindness, look at your shadow, right? If you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're scared, feel it, right? Feel it. Love yourself, heal it, love your neighbor, and become better with pattern recognition. Because if you don't love yourself, right, you're easy to control. If you don't love yourself, you want to fit in. And if you want to fit in, you don't question the narrative. Because the moment you question the narrative, the matrix will protect itself by shaming you. And they do this through unconscious people, right? Because the need for approval makes you controllable. So I hope that this helped a little bit. It's another waffle for today. Be aware of the fact that we are in mosaic warfare, and everything you see on the news is kabuki theater. Don't fall for it. And what is a good rule of thumb? If it divides you from other people, if it makes you judge other people, it's not right. If you're waiting for some external man to come and save you, or woman, it's not right, right? We decide, we create. We create reality with our consciousness. And our consciousness and our subconscious mind needs to be clear. And how do we clear it? We forgive, we love, we do shadow work, and we take radical personal responsibility. Have a nice day.